it's Natalie. I want to talk to you about something today that is really near and dear to my heart, and that is cutting out processed foods. I believe that the single greatest mistake you can make in your diet is eating processed foods. Over the last 30 years, we Americans have doubled how much we spend on these foods. And these foods I like to call fake foods because that's what they are. So to help you identify what foods are fake and what foods are not, I've come up with 3 simple questions that you can ask yourself. Number 1, would your great-grandmother recognize it? Number 2, would it ever grow in a field? And number 3, can it rot or mold? So now let's look at a few products and let's ask ourselves these questions. And if you can answer no to any of the questions, then you have found a fake food. And for the sake of your health, you've got to eliminate it from your diet, or at the very least, minimize it, and it can't be a staple. So let's look at our first food. This is a Kellogg's strawberry breakfast cereal bar. So right off the bat, when I looked at the ingredient list, even though it's strawberry flavor, there is no real strawberry in the bar itself. So that should be your first warning signal. And then the rest of the ingredients, I highly doubt that your great-grandmother would know what TBHQ is, what BHT is, which are both terrible preservatives. She's not going to know what sorbitol is, or hydrogenated palm kernel oil, which results in trans fats. So a general rule of thumb for processed foods, or really anything with a label, is that if the ingredient list is extremely long, or if there's unpronounceable ingredients, then it's a fake food. Now let's look at another product. So, box of Cheerios. Now some of you are probably gasping out there because you would think, what? I can't eat Cheerios? I thought that was a healthy cereal. Well, and that's just evidence right there that the marketing behind these processed foods are so successful at what they're trying to do, and that's to make you feel like what you're choosing is healthy. So yes, they're a worse cereal than Cheerios, but it is still a processed food because you are never going to see a Cheerio growing out in the field. And if you do, I got to see a picture of that. So really a better breakfast would be oatmeal. Simple, easy to make, but it's a whole food and there's not an ingredient list, a long ingredient list that goes with it. Okay, now let's look at a third product, fat-free cheese. Now fat-free cheese is an interesting product by itself. So my dietitian, one of my dietitian friends, did her own little experiment, and she bought a block of fat-free cheese and stuck it in the back of her refrigerator for a year. She covered it up so she wouldn't sneak peeks at it. And at the end of that year, she took it out of her drawer, and there was not a single growth of mold on that block of cheese. So that should be your cue right there that even the bacteria doesn't want to grow on it. So it is absolutely a fake food. So what would be the better alternative? Well, the real thing, regardless of how much more fat is in full fat cheese, it's real. It's a real food, and it's not a processed food. Now to really drive home my point, listen to these statistics. Americans spend $33.45 billion a year on fruits and vegetables, and that may sound like a lot, but not when you compare it to the fact that we spend $1.8 trillion on processed foods. So to really make the shift towards a whole foods diet and reducing the amount of processed foods in your diet, it's a really simple thing to start. Just ask yourself these 3 simple questions. Start weeding out what's in your refrigerator, what's in your pantry, and what you're buying at the grocery store, and you're on your way to better health. Until next time, bye-bye.